Hello, 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 hello. You know what? I think I'm probably going to need my glasses here. I'll just wing it for now. What's going on, fine people? Another Saturday Night Live. My, my little weather forecast says it's humid out. Yes, it is. That's because it's been raining. I got one in here. There's another. Oh, lost one already. I think the counter that they give you up here in the corner for uh, people coming in is kind of flawed. But if you do happen to stop in, make sure to say hi and how you doing. Anyway, so the topic of the story tonight is, what's your time worth? Can you put a value on it? People ask you. Um, it's kind of like when you do get at your car service, or you want somebody to, or you want to get something done for free, or if you want pull up to a shop or something and you say, "Hey, can you run a scan on this real quick? Tell me what's going on with it." Okay, what's that time worth? I know you want it to be free, but what about the other end of it? Um, how about the time it took for that person to learn a skill, learn a trade? What's the knowledge worth? The only reason why I say that is the automotive industry has got to be one of the least undervalued um, industries. And, unfortunately, it's getting taken over by this electric BS um, that they push to seem to think that it's going to be oh so better. But, you know, there's value in experience, there's value in the knowledge. Um, and you have to understand that there is a way you have to charge for it, no matter what it is. Um, say it's an IT deal. Uh, what's up, Steven? Um, say it's an IT repair or something like that. You're paying that person for the knowledge that they've gained, uh, for whatever research that was done, um, whatever tools that they use to do the repair, so on and so forth. So you've got to figure out a way to charge for that time. It's tough. It can go both ways. Um, Anywho, that's about it on that. Pretty short, but I basically wanted to get out here and say hello, since it's been a week or two since I've done a live stream, and it's been a coon's age since I've done a video. Um, I have been recording. I've got a couple of videos on the camera here that I've been working on. Um, It's doing all right, Steven. I mean, it's slowed way down. Biggest thing is waiting on parts to get there. But it's slowed down a bunch. The way the fuel prices are and everything is kind of hindering a lot of things. But if it's got an aftermarket warranty on it or any kind of warranty on the vehicle, we'll likely to see it just because they know it can be fixed and they don't have to pay for it. Um, hmm. Hey man, how are you tonight? Got been a good week so far for me, really. For the most part, it's going pretty fast. I took off Wednesday, took some vacation time Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and my mom is down from home. She came down for a visit, and we've been doing stuff with her. And we went to the beach today, and that was rather relaxing. Tried to keep from getting sunburnt, and I did a pretty good job, I think. Um, Hello, Mr. Soto, and good for you, Steven. Man, you can do it, brother. Of course, as much as they cost, I would I'd do it too. Got to cut your budget somewhere. I found when I quit for the last time, it was just getting past the first 10 days. After that, it got a lot easier. You're absolutely right. Your time is the most important thing that you have. Um, and the older that I know this, the older that I get, the less time that I have, and you have to make as many of the minutes count as you can. Now believe me, I'm no angel at that by any means, but um, I try to do the best that I can. So anyway, sold Charlie Brown. That was my Sable that I had. I pretty much got what I asked out of it, which I was tickled to death. Also sold my boat that I had. Got what I wanted out of that. I was pretty tickled about. So that was a bonus. And I got word from the attorney that I think that I finally got all my tax stuff taken care of. Woohoo! Nelly, I'm glad that's over with. Ain't no fun owing the IRS, that's for sure. But I think I'm done with that finally, which I'm tickled to death. So, on to the next things. I disagree with the oil's going away deal. I mean, I don't think that's an issue at all. I think it's the their green agenda thing. Because you can recycle oil. Um, you can recycle it and reuse it. Um, it's a plentiful thing. I mean, sometimes it gets contaminated, but they recycle the oil, they reclaim it, they reuse it. It's good to go. Um, The cars that are beyond their lifetime, they get recycled and put into metal and redone again. Um, the carbon footprint of an electric vehicle is way too high, and it costs a lot of money to mine those minerals and stuff that's required to make the panels. And I heard something the other day. That United States does not make any of the solar panels. They are all made overseas because they are so dirty. Um, it creates a lot of pollution to make those panels. Um, it's not as green as they play it out to be. Um, but then again, most of us are just everyday Joes that um, rely on the power. The best thing they could do was it. Best thing they could do is create nuclear power plants. It's the cleanest energy there is. It's the most efficient. It's safe. Um, and you can. It has very little byproduct, but we need to be back. Excuse me, to energy independent for sure, because this electric agenda they're going after is not sustainable. Um, Speaking of which, so there's a grocery store just up the street from me. Well, not just up the street. It's about 8 or 10 miles away, something like that. But anyway, they just put in like 10 Tesla charging stations um, in the middle of town and just out in the middle of nowhere. 10 of them dudes. Couldn't believe it. Um, but you get charged for that electric just like you do if you were to fill a tank of gas. The only problem is or the only deal is that the range on a gas fill up is going to be longer than a battery charge on a Tesla. Take less time. There's that value of your time again. Takes less time to fill up a tank than it does to charge a car, and you just keep motoring on down the road. The life cycle of um, those batteries, depending on how you use it, it's not going to be as much as a gas car. You're not going to get 20 years out of a gasoline vehicle, or you're not going to get 20 years out of an electric vehicle the same way you would a gas vehicle. Um, just like my old pickup, it's a 2002, and it's still going strong. Of course, it's only got 148,000 miles on it, but my O2 Escape that I've got, well, actually the wife's O2 Escape, but it's got 286,000 miles on it. You're not going to get that out of a hybrid. You're not going to get that out of an electric car, not without some major expenses like a battery replacement. Say you get one of the control boxes that goes bad. I can only imagine how much one of those cost. I know when I wrote service for Toyota for a while, um, these people would come in with these old Priuses and they would spend, $2,500 to get a battery replaced in this thing. And it's way more than the car's worth. The people that have got the hybrid Avalons and a couple of the others, a lot of times they wouldn't even spend the money on it. Excuse me. But again, I mean, if they came in with a Prius that had a bad battery in it and they decided you can't sell the car because nobody's going to buy a car that's, especially a Prius, that right out of the jack you got to spend another 3 grand on a battery. Um, I mean, unless maybe you gave the Prius away. I mean, where's the value in that? Anyway, so what's going on everybody's on everybody else's end of the realm? How's everybody doing on that end out there in YouTube land, and everybody else doing okay? How's life treating y'all? Ooh, excuse me. I know we've been getting some weather down here finally. We're actually in hurricane season now. That started like June. Well, I guess it's June 15th. I guess we're not quite there, but starting to get some more rain than like we usually do. Huh. Steve and I haven't been to the dentist in probably 15 to 20 years, something like that. And I can tell you, I got a bunch of cavities that need to be taken care of. I used to have really good teeth growing up, and just, the older I get, the crappier my teeth get. I mean, it's not painful or anything. It's just that the enamel's broken down and everything else. Well, Vet Risky, I kind of filled you in that that's what I thought happened. Um, got a little lean on that back cylinder and probably put a hole in it. Well, good deal, Julio. Good deal. Yeah, it kind of has to be connected in the valve body for it to do any good, for sure. Yeah, usually what happens on the governor is the governor will stick the little valve inside. It's got the valve that rotates, but then there's a little valve inside, and it'll stick. The other thing that happens is the gear gets wore out. It'll actually kind of look like this, and it'll slip. So, hmm, that's true. At least the new one does have a factory warning on it for sure. Not surprised though with the cost of everything these days. I got one of the guys from work asked me to build him a transmission. It's just 4L60E, and I'm upgrading it to going to make it a 4L70E. Um, but I can't believe how much the prices have gone up on everything. The only thing I sent the pumps off to get remanned and a torque converter for them. and I haven't got those back yet. Um, I'm hoping the valve body on this thing's in good shape. I got to look at it some more, but I plan on doing videos for you guys. I know it's repetitive and probably nothing that y'all be interested in, but maybe there'll be something you pick up. Had a gentleman email me the other day and ask me, he had a transmission rebuilt by another shop, and he's had nothing but trouble with it since. He got himself a oil pressure gauge and hooked up to it, and the oil pressure was low, and he said like 30 psi is at an idle, and it just seems like that what he was showing on the video that he put out, it was just everything was low on pressure. And I'm going to tell you guys that on any transmission rebuild, the pump is the most important part of the whole build, period. And I say that because if your clearances in your pump are not correct, uh, the rest of your transmission won't be correct. It won't shift right. It won't operate right. You have to have adequate pressure to be able to do what you need to do. And that's means checking the clearances in the pump, making sure everything's got the right clearance on it. Because from the factory, they want it to be fairly snug. I mean, like, I think you can have it as tight as 8/10,000ths of an inch, which is pretty tight. And then, of course, the fluid will take out the rest of it. And then there's a spring in there that holds the rotor. And you want to make sure that spring's pretty stout too, so that thing will stay open more than it will be closed. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, it's kind of like a tracking deal. Um, because they have to, like I said, they have to charge her. You can't just plug into that thing and get free electricity. That's not the way it works. You get billed for that electricity. Um, and these superchargers that they got can charge a Tesla up in like 30 to 40 minutes, from what I understand. I could be wrong on that, but that's going to take some power. And yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, you still seeing these cars catch on fire, and I mean anything you could do that in a gasoline car just as easy. Yes, I know, but I don't know. That electricity is probably that's in that charging station is probably produced by a generator that runs on coal. Tell me that makes a lot of sense. I don't know. Anywho, got one of my suicide prevention shirts on today. It's one of the charity rides that we did up north when we were riding a bunch of charity rides. A lot of fun. Met a lot of good people. You know, a motorcyclist or a biker is probably going to be one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. Um, Real genuine, down to earth people. Um, a lot of them ride for the same reason. You know, ride for cures to cancer and ride for the kids. We rode for St. Jude's a bunch. Um, St. Jude's is a fantastic organization. There was a year that we raised a bunch of money for St. Jude's, and we actually rode when I was living up in Kansas City. We actually rode to Memphis, Tennessee, which is where St. Jude's is, and we actually delivered the check to them for the money that we had raised, and that was a lot of fun. We toured the facility, seeing what they did there. It was pretty fantastic. So, good charitable organization is definitely St. Jude's. The kids deserve a fighting chance to make some sort of life, make some sort of life out of it. Hopefully there's going to be a world left for them to enjoy. But speaking of which, so when we were out to lunch today, we stopped at this Irish pub. Yes, they are, Stephen. We stopped at this Irish pub and had some lunch, and they were panicking because they were getting busy. This place is a hole in the wall, but it's got so good a character, and they got pub food, and the wife actually got a Reuben, mom got a Reuben, and I got what they called a Marty. And Marty is a pastrami on rye with Swiss cheese, coleslaw, and Thousand Island dressing. And man, that sandwich was fantastic. Some of the places you go, it's kind of nice that even though the price of the food, I don't mind paying the additional money for the food, as long as the quality is there. Now, if you're charging the same amount and your quality's gone to crap, or you've cut corners to make ends meet, and then the quality of the product that you're putting out is gone to crap, no, that's not worth it to me. But well, thanks, Ice. I don't know what I learned and what I taught you, but hey, if you got some knowledge out of it, fantastic. But any rate, we met this couple in the pub, and they originally lived in Washington, D.C. And when this idiot got in office, that's what they called him. He says, when that idiot got in office, we had to get the heck out of there. And so they moved here to Florida. And they said that was the best thing they ever did, was get out of that state. As it was, they said it was so bad up there. And just a great couple. We had a bunch of laughs, just out of the blue. It was pretty cool. Really enjoyed it. We actually went to St. Augustine Beach, and went to the castle, which we found out that the castle, you have to pay to go tour it. I was like, nah, we're not paying for it. So so we didn't go. We just walked around the outside of it, and nonetheless, still had a good time. Had a good lunch. Enjoyed it for sure. Like I said, went to the beach for a while. Tried to keep from getting sunburnt. And just about the time we left, they had some storm clouds roll through. So We didn't stick around there too long. Well, we were there a couple hours anyway, but still had a good time. It's good to get out. So, at any rate, oh, got some outside work done this week, which was nice. Well, I appreciate that, Whiplash. Or I guess it's not Whiplash, it's Whip Splash. Whip Splash. I got it, I think. All right, Julio. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. Steven, no, I haven't had time to edit. Like I said, mom's in from out of town, so I haven't done much on the computer here lately. Oh, I got it. I get it. I had to read it twice. Of course, I don't have my eyeballs on, so it's kind of blurred together. Not really, but I mean it is. It's tougher for me to read without my glasses on for sure. Um, they're just a pain in that butt to wear right now. So yeah, Steven, no video tomorrow. Like I said, I've got some on the camera, but I haven't had time to do anything with it. Must be Tylenol time. But at any rate, I've been watching one of the guys on the tube here. What the hell's the name of the Ryan Hall, y'all? He's a weather forecaster that he does pretty much all of his broadcasting on YouTube, and I've been following him when he does the storms predictions and that kind of stuff. And he's pretty cool to watch. When they had the big tornado thing going in Kansas and Missouri a couple days ago, he was on air for like 5 hours, doing live stream for 5 hours. I'm like, wow. But he had some great coverage and had storm chasers on there. It was pretty cool. What's up, Chris? Good night, Vetruski. Thank you for stopping by and have fun on your ride. Wow. Thanks for the super chat. I didn't expect that. I never asked for anything. That's fantastic. Yeah, I did see Johnny Depp won the trial. That Heard gal, she's kind of off a rocker, and it's kind of funny. She's got to pay him he's got to pay her like $2 million in legal or something like that, and she's got to pay him like 13 million or something like that. It's just stupid. That thing was the biggest publicized mess there ever was, but they had to make some kind of stink about it, something else to distract people, get their minds off of what's really going on. Yeah, what's the point? Exactly. It's more the real life drama or what do they call that? Um, reality show, re- real life reality show. They had a clip that somebody pulled up. They were interviewing this guy, or they had this guy on the stand, and Heard's defense attorney asked him, so well, now you get your 15 seconds of fame or something like that, and he turned it around on her and just threw her under the bus, and it was hilarious. She didn't have much to say about that, but she got burnt pretty good. That was quite humorous. But why they had to make such a big deal of that one? Yeah, the TMZ guy, exactly. It was hysterical nonetheless. Just the expression in the courtroom from the other people, they're going, "Ooh!" It was great. Had a dog underneath my chair, but yeah, that was quite hysterical. Yes. What? Wife's giving me the evil eye. Oh, now she's really giving me the evil eye. Calling the trial whatsoever. Oh yeah. Well, I think they both hurt their career pretty bad. Um, but yeah, I she I, a lot of times they see that. Well, you know what the crazy thing is somebody will come out, or somebody that's watching this or watched the whole trial series is like, all they see is, like the cartoons, and they got these two big dollar signs in their eyes that come out, and they're like, "Oh, this is the next movie. This will be epic." And that's what they'll do. They'll make another movie out of it and try to make, a couple million off of it. It's yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a movie that somebody, in a world where so and so meets so and so, and you have a argument of faith, blah 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 blah. They'll figure out some way to make a movie out of it. Chris, the price of gas uh, went up like Thursday. It's 4.89 down here for regular unleaded. Yeah, it just went up to 4.89. I suspect by the 4th of July it'll be over $5. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's just keeps going up, and yeah, Steven, I'm like I said, they'll do something like that, something to make some sort of revenue off of it. I mean, that's just the way it's going to be. Ooh, Steven, I'm sorry, you can have your $6 gas. I know it's coming here though. Yeah, they'll do like they'll probably do some Dateline thing or something like that. Just like I said, it's all about the money. So, they may not kill, you know, Amanda may not have killed her career as bad as we think. Because again, I think somebody will come out with let's see if we can make a movie out of this. Some way to recoup the losses, and that she's gonna have to pay all this money. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see anyway. But yeah, I've been used to paying the high gas because, like I said before, we actually run the no ethanol fuel in our vehicles down here, and the reason why we do is because it actually will get better fuel economy running the no ethanol because you get more power out of less fuel, if that makes any sense. Um, Plus, it keeps the fuel system lubricated better because ethanol is corrosive. If y'all ever driven a vehicle that the gas gauge kind of does some funny things on after some time, especially on GMs, it's because the ethanol is corrosive enough where it eats the fingers off of the sender card. So then that doesn't make contact with it, and the gas gauge goes haywire. Five million people signed a petition to have Heard removed from the movie Aquaman. Really? Huh. I haven't heard that. Steven, I hate to say it, but uh, that's Newsom's a Democrat. Don't have to say much more about that, but I guarantee he's getting help. Um, uh, I don't care what side of the spectrum you guys are on as far as your political affiliation, if you have one. Um, but these primaries are so important to um, our country right now. Um, we've got to get better control of our government, or we're in for probably the worst thing you'll ever see. I hate to put it that way, but it's just Stephen. If he's winning that easily, then I still think he'd have to be getting paid, or he's getting help. You can't be that crappy of a governor and just win by skating through. He's getting help. That's bad news. I think of how blessed we are to have a good, strong governor like we have down here, for sure. Um, there just needs to be a lot more of our style of governor. And speaking of which, so I seen something the other a day or so ago. I guess the third impeachment trial of the 45 has failed again on doing a witch hunt, just like this January 6th committee that is just nothing but something to waste our taxpayers' dollars because they're not happy with the outcome, and they want to make sure that they get their point across that, they're going to win no matter how they got to do it. They're going to do it by cheating, stealing. That's what I'm saying. It's got to be. I hope they get some better election laws in place before the actual midterms come up. Because if not, we're in a world of hurt. For sure, for sure. But anywho, well, what else y'all want to speak of tonight? Anything good that's on your end that you want to bring up? $110% whip splash for sure. Couldn't be any more right on that one. Will they do it? No, because that's not part of their agenda. Not part of their agenda. And, they want to point the blame on everything else. They want to blame it on Putin. They want to blame it on the war in Ukraine. They want to blame it on high inflation. And, well, how do you think that inflation started? A lot of us common sense folks can see right through this BS. And I'm just waiting to see what their next big pandemic it is to try to keep everybody out of the polling places and keep everybody from voting. Because believe me, they're going to try anything in their power to keep you from voting in the midterms. So make sure you know your voting location, where you're supposed to be, what days you're supposed to be there, and make sure to get out and vote. Don't do a mail-in ballot. Do go vote in person. If you got to spend your last couple of bits of dollars for gas, just go vote. Go do it in person. Don't give them a chance. So, you're absolutely right. You got no reason to complain if you didn't go out and vote. I've voted in every one of the elections, and so I got every bit as right as the next guy to say, no, this ain't gonna fly. For sure. So, I got to go to work back on Monday. Yay. Actually putting together this 2015 Camaro. You can actually rebuild the rear end, and I had one that had a bearing go bad and it sounded terrible. Tore up the ring and pinion. So I got most all of it put back together, and I was putting the side bearing shim in, the carrier bearing shim in, and I broke the damn spacer, which is made out of cast iron. Oh, it's hotter than a wet hen. So had to order some parts, and hopefully they'll be back by the time I get. I got a spark that I'm waiting on a clutch that I've been waiting a month on, just because the parts have been back ordered. What else have I got? I got to put a valve body in a Chevrolet Captiva, which they only made for 3 years. Christopher, it's like 198 millimeter rear end. It's a small one. This Camaro's just got a V6 in it, so it's nothing spectacular. But the housing's aluminum, and the way it's designed, when I was putting the shim in, it got caught in there and sideways, and I use a brass drift to put them in there like I always have. And this one got caught and it just shattered it. I'm like, well, yeah, I was a little mad, but I mean, it happens. And I keep all the shims from previous rear end jobs. I got a big old box full of them, and all that big old box, and I didn't have the damn shim for that thing. I was so mad. So I ordered some others, and they should be there by the time I get back. So one way or the other, I'm going to get this thing back down and get it back down the road. Everything's together. That's the only thing I had left to do was put that shim in and check my preload, and then check my pattern to make sure the ring gear pattern was correct and wouldn't had the right backlash in it. And as long as all that's good to go, then down the road it'll go. So a liter of fuel. A liter of fuel is wow. Wow, 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 wow. Which part of it, Chris? I mean, how long does it take to redo the whole rear end? About 4 to 5 hours, something like that on average. That's getting all the old bearings off and pressing new bearings on, setting it on. Yeah, it's about 4 to 5 hours. Somewhere in there. I think it pays like 7.5. Yeah. Yeah, I've got a gallon is roughly 4 liters. Woo. Wow. So that's like $8 a gallon. Ouch. Yep. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. I appreciate the super chat. That was mighty nice of you. I'm sure that'll end up going towards a project. So, yeah, it's not going to be too much longer before I need to start heading towards the sack too, so I can get up and go to church in the morning. Granted, church isn't until 10 o'clock, but still, time to get up and make breakfast and get cleaned up and ready to go, and take a little bit of time. Yeah, should be here next Saturday, Chris. All things considered. But I want to thank you all for coming by. I really appreciate it, as always. I guess if I'd promote this a little better, I might get a few more people in here, but that's okay. Nonetheless, Ooh, Steven. Yeah, it's been in the 90s down here, but humid as all get out. But on that note, y'all need to make sure to make sure to be safe, be well, take care of yourself, take care of each other, watch out for your loved ones, and don't forget family is everything. Um, but until I see you next time, God bless you. God bless America, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.